Previously on Bleach. The transformation is now fully completed. I will now rule over all of you pitiful neophytes with my godly mane of anime hair. Not so fast there, Aizen. You're not the only one with anime god hair. Okay, what the actual hell, Ichigo? How did you manage to get stronger than me in like 5 chapters? Wizard did it. I'm not a fucking wizard, but yeah, okay, whatever, you're welcome. Sosuke Aizen, I now sentence you to death. Nah, you can't do that. What do you mean I can't do that? I just freaking did it. Nope, can't do it. I can't die. You're fucking trolling us right now, aren't you? Like, does anyone else here know for a fact that we can't kill this guy? Because, you know, I was going to break out the Sokyoku and everything, and it was going to be this big spectacle, and, you know, like, are we sure we're okay with just locking him away for a predetermined amount of time? Yeah, I'm pretty cool with it. Okay, would you shut the fuck up, okay? Does anyone here, aside from the accused that literally tried to wage war with our entire society and kill God, have any problems with locking this guy away? Any objections?
Objection!
Oh, god damn it, Phoenix. Okay, you know what? Fine, I don't care. I'll be dead by then anyway. 20,000 years in Muken, sentence passed. Yeah, I'll be out in 2. Okay, you know what? Go screw yourself, you freaking troll. Little does he know, the more he complains about me being a troll, the stronger I become. Well, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Tekking101 Aizen Return Chapter Review Extravaganza! We don't have a thing to play for this. We don't have like a big like dun 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 or something we can. Alright, let's just get into it, I guess. So chapter opens up with a color page, bitches, and it's really cute because it shows us exactly what all the things Aizen's been up to in the past 2 years. He's mostly been bound to pillars, 3 pillars actually. He's got 6 red stakes piercing his chest. His entire lower body is completely bound by the those black band things he was being held when the Central 46 sentenced him. So I'm assuming that's like some really high class of bondage, like S&M gear that the Soul Society employs in order to like contain Ryatsu or something. So he's been contained with that. His face is completely obscured. The only thing that they left out was a little bit of his hair, which I found that funny. Just like, you can't even, no matter how many seals you have, no matter how many keto spells you invoke, you cannot seal this man's hair. It is simply too epic. You know, the amount of hair gel on that thing alone will repel all spells and Zanpakuto abilities. So his entire face is all bandaged up, though. He kind of looks like the Hannibal Lecter treatment, essentially. You know, like this is what you would do to like a Jason Voorhees if he ever got like caught by the police or something. Like he would be bound to a pillar like this. The interesting thing I find is that how he has like a piece of like tattered cloth along the top of his body. Like, what's that for? Why would they put like, it's like, okay, Aizen, we're gonna bind you into this pillar and we're gonna wrap you a little bit in this cloth for, you know, just in case you get a little chilly, and after we wrap you in the bondage gear, and then we're gonna stake you 6 times with these red seal things, which I'm sure Uehara had some play in designing his containment. But anyway, that's a pretty cool title page. He is awaiting in the darkness. Bleach Chapter 617, Return of the God. Oh, no. See, I know for a fact where this is going here. Now, see, it says Return of the God, and due to the events last chapter and this chapter, you would assume he's talking about Uketake using his Kamekake ability to become the new Soul King. But I know about Aizen and his mind fuckery, okay? I know how he screws with people. So this, I'm guaranteeing you, isn't even the real chapter title. Kubo must have been affected by Aizen, so reveal yourself, you swine!
砕けろ強化水月
I knew it was you, you bastard! Chapter begins in the 12th Division barracks where we see Uketake scream out in sheer pain as the Kamekake begins to erupt from his body. Once again, I don't know, like, what form the Kamekake takes. I mean, it's black here, but of course it's manga. You know, I think it would be cool. Like, a lot of the fan arts I've seen of this always incorporate the Kamekake as a red figure. Like, the Kamekake is like the actual blood that's, like, pouring out of Uketake and becoming this physical form. But whichever, it begins to rough out of all of his orifice, like his ears, his nose, his eyes. It's escaping his body, and it's shooting up toward the sky as Urahara and Rukia and all the remaining Shinigami just look on with horror because they're basically witnessing, like, something equivalent to, like, Linda Blair Exorcist shit going on right in front of them. You know, Uketake's on the ground crying out in pain as this demon's, like, being erupting from his body. So it begins to extend up toward the sky. Keep in mind, it's still connected to Uketake, the shadow, or the Kamekake, whatever. It's still coming from out inside of him. It's just extending up toward the Soul Palace as everyone else kind of just looks on in absolute horror. Urahara notices that the earthquake has then stopped, which means that the realm has somewhat been stabilized. Huh, geez, guys, that was really scary there for a second. I thought I might have died. Yeah, that's crazy, Yushiro, that you somehow not even managed to appear in this chapter once, let alone dying. Actually, wait a second, Kenpachi's there. What am I even complaining about? Kenpachi, dog! You know, come on, help me out here. Hey, guys, are we talking about something useless? Because I like being useless. Oh my god, it hurts so much! Thanks, bro. Fist bump. And that's how Yushiro Shihoin died, and I didn't have to do any penalty games. That's what you think, you fool. Oh, wait, no. Wait, don't tell me. Was that all an illusion? Ah! Damn it, he's still alive, isn't he? Damn it. Okay, fine. You know what? It's fine. It's cool. You know, I am a man of my word. I said Yushiro would have been dead by chapter 617. He's still around, so fine. I'll pick some penalty games that you guys suggested in the last video. Okay, what's the first one? Oh, come on, really? I mean, just because I have this on standby at every single minute, yes, I framed it, obviously. God. Yushiro, why couldn't you, like, a rock have fallen on you or something when the building was crumbling? Just splat, done. Feels so dirty. Alright, so yeah, so we come up to the Soul Palace where we see Yuha... Oh, sorry. Yuha Bak, who's still being surrounded by all of Yoruichi's wires, so he's still not moving an inch, but he is certainly surprised by the fact that all the quaking has stopped, and now the Kamekake has arrived in the Soul Palace and is grabbing onto both halves of the Soul King's little glass dome he had. It's like because the dome that Ichigo cut off, for some reason I thought that got sent to the other side of the room. No, it's directly underneath the Soul King. I was just an idiot. I didn't pay attention. So the Kamekake is looking like it's like a hand, and it's grabbing the Soul King's dome, and it looks like it's trying to piece him back together, and Yuha is just looking on with surprise, and he's just like, is that how it is? To think that you could have escaped my eyes. Okay, everything else that happens in this video, fine, I don't care. I'm taking the call of that shit dance here on this one. Because I called it that his powers are not completely omnipotent or omniscient or whatever the phrase is. He can't see into the future in every perspective because there would be there'd be no rest of the series. You know, he would be like, oh, I know what's going to happen. I know I'm ultimately going to win or I'm ultimately going to fail. So what's the point of even, you know, having a series anymore? But no, there's a glaring weakness right here. The Kamekake, according to Yuha, is the one thing that escaped his gaze. Of course, want to apply that if this is the one thing that could escape his gaze, there wouldn't be anything else that could. I mean, there's one chink in your armor, there could be 1,000 for all we know. But yeah, Yuha gets a little bit pissed off here and he states shouting, "You bastard! Are you the Soul King himself? Answer me!" So, I don't know, maybe this is implying, like, the Soul King could transfer his consciousness into the Kamekake or into Uketake, so that way, you know, the Soul King is just this abstract concept that can just move between mediums, and that's why Yuha's freaking out, because the Soul King may not, in fact, be dead yet. So then we cut back down to the 12th Division where we see Uketake, who's standing there, and he's, you know, still the Kamekake's erupting out of him, and Sentaro and Kione, you know, his third seats, the two third seats of the 13th Division, they're staring on, and they're, like, in, like, shock and awe of what's going on here, and, you know, everyone's kind of freaking out here, and Soifone, though, just kind of collects herself, and she's the one that just comes up and just says, "Hey, how long is this going to last here, Urahara? Because I don't think that he's going to be able to completely replace the Soul King. I think it's more of just like a temporary fix to this problem, am I right?" And Urahara says a line I don't think we're ever going to hear him say ever again. "I do not know." Uehara is completely clueless on this. He's just like, dude, I only knew about the Kamekake like it was like Mimi Hage was this god figure in the Rukon district as like a mythology. I didn't actually know this was fact. I have no idea how long is this going to last, or if it's permanent or just a temporary fix to the situation here. But regardless of that, he holds up the orbs and he's like, regardless if this is temporary or not, we got to get up there and we got to start dealing with the problem right now. So he raises up the orb and he asks everyone to, strap in and get going and make up the doorway. Okay, here we go. Another freaking penalty game. What is it this time? Okay, fine. This is actually one of the more easier ones I saw. I think this was on my fan page or somebody. I forget where somebody posted this on. But yeah, a lot of people were saying shit that, I want you to, like, straight up, like, mutilate your body in some way. Like, some people were asking me to, like, bleach part of my body, like my hair, or, dye my hair a funny color or something like that. But, as opposed to all those options, I think the kitty whiskers in the eyes is something that's a little bit more tame. So I'll go with that. Yeah, I'll go with that. I was like, how do I look, guys? I look pretty awesome. I look pretty sexy right now, admit it. Cat teching. This is a thing. Let's just make that a thing now. All right. So that was one of the easier ones on the spectrum. Let's keep that up for the ones that are following. All right. So yeah, he asked for everyone to get ready and get going. When we cut over to the bottom, I guess in the underground prison, so this is below the first division, where we see Shunsui Kyaraku arriving, ready to meet the headliner, ladies and gentlemen. So he begins to speak again what he was continuing on last chapter. He was talking to Aizen, and remember, Aizen didn't actually respond to him. Shunsui was just kind of talking into darkness, which kind of got me thinking that, it would be so funny if if Aizen wasn't even down there, if he was just, away the entire time, like if he left long ago, like when Yuha first invaded. But no, according to the chapter cover, he's still down there. He's just not replying. And Shunsui even mentions, like, he's completely bound up. He's completely sealed. The only reason that he thinks that Aizen could respond to him is through his Ryatsu, which is funny when you think about it, because if you're gonna seal a Shinigami in prison, you think the first thing you'd want to do is make sure that they couldn't use their Ryatsu in any way, because that's how they can get their power. That's how they make Kido spells. You bind his Ryatsu first. Moving his body, you think, would just be a trivial factor, but his Ryatsu is the main point. But whichever, Aizen's not responding to him either way. To which Shunsui then pulls out this little box full of these, it's funny on the number here. I'm counting 19 of these locks that are on the ground, but it looks like there's 20 keys, so I'm just going to go with 20 locks, just rounding up to make it sense that there would be an even number. So apparently there are 20 locks or seals that are keeping Aizen in this prison, on top of being, on the lowest level to begin with, so I'm sure he couldn't just break out. Even if he could unlock all the seals, he's still on the bottom level of this prison, but he has 20 seals that are locking his body, and Shunsui has been given permission by Central 46 to use 3 of them. I am also kind of curious here. It's like, the world is ending, Central 46. Oh, well, all right, you'll have permission to talk to the dangerous convict, but you can only unlock 3 of his seals. We can't have this guy getting out. He might cause the end of the world or something. Okay, whatever, it doesn't make sense, but we're Central 46, bitch. Yeah, did you ever figure, like, Central 46 is, like, a horrible kind of, like, hierarchy or, like, government system that the Soul Society has? Because every time the Central 46 is incorporated into the story, they always make really stupid decisions about something. Or just really, like stern, iron-fisted dictatorships kind of situations. I know there's 46 of them, but it's still somehow a dictatorship when it comes to them. They just make really, really stern decisions about everything. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, so Shunsui's been given permission to use 3 of these, and he states that lock the seal for Aizen's mouth. That's right, Shunsui's going to unlock the seal to Aizen's coochie. It's Japanese for mouth. Look it up. It's just hilarious. Right, so I just want to question, though, like, okay, so Aizen's completely sealed to these 3 pillars, and I can understand he's got, like, a seal for his, like, one for each of his arms, one for each of his legs, torso, head, mouth, probably his eyes, but, like, 20 seals on this guy. All right, so we got, like, his major limbs. I'm sure 3 of them are just for the back of his head for his hair. I don't know, like, what do you think, 2, 3 for his dick, maybe? You got to make sure that's contained. I just don't know how many, like, his nose must be contained, unless they go with, like, every single joint in his body, like every finger, not every finger, but his wrist, his shoulder, his elbow, like everything is just sealed on this guy. I don't know how you can come up with 20 seals, but whatever. But anyway, yeah, so we cut back over to 12th Division, where we see Uehara and the gang attempting to create the gateway. However, it crumbles as it's beginning to form. They bring up the fact that because Uketake is now out of commission, they're now missing an amount of Ryatsu in order to open the gate. Apparently, because Uketake was so, sickly, he kept it so that his what's it called? His Ryatsu was like built up way more than just the standard captain could. So the amount of energy they had just drastically decreased. Although I want to question the fact of how much Ryatsu did Ukitake have, because right now you have 6 captain level Shinigami attempting, and plus all the other like Shuhei and Ikaku, Yumachika, Marachio, all the other, you know, like lower level Shinigami, but they're still like ranked. They're still lieutenants or, you know, around that level. Yeah, even Ikaku and Yumachika, they're at least at lieutenant level. Give me that much. They're at least lieutenant level. So all these Shinigami here with all this Ryatsu, you know, and you can't manage to make this gate. Like, how much freaking Ryatsu does this thing require? I mean, you have Uehara, Byakuya, Kenpachi, Soifone, Shinji, freaking Love. Like, that's 6 captains right there. You should be able to make this, but whichever. Just when they think they're about to fail, the visors then come out of the changing room and state that, you know, we're here with you, and they have this nice little moment with Lisa and Nanao, because, you know, Nanao met Lisa in the Turn Back the Pendulum arc, and it was like Lisa was kind of like her big sister kind of figure, and you can kind of see that depending on how she styled her hair and the glasses and everything. So, you know, the nice little moment between them, I enjoy that. What I'm not going to enjoy is this, probably. All right, hit me. What is it this time? Okay, you know, the funny thing about that question is that basically what you're asking me is, what is the one song that I have in my collection that's the most different from all the other songs in my collection? The problem is that most of the songs I have on here, like 50% of this is just like Bleach, Naruto, One Piece, Fairy Tail battle OSTs, so right there, that's not the norm. The rest of it is like traditional music by like bands, like my favorite bands, by the way, are like Panic at the Disco, All Time Low, some Breathe Carolinas, and like Breaking Benjamin's on here. You know, and I got some other stuff too. I got some like Journey and some Michael Jackson, but I was looking through this, and if you want like just the one song on here that just completely like contrasts to everything else that's on this phone, then it's probably the one Kesha song I have on here. Yeah, I don't know what I was on either. So, if you want to see me dance to Kesha's Take It Off, go click this link below, because obviously I can't do it right now because, you know, copyright, but yeah, I want to go do that. I'm actually going to film it right now, and then after I'm done with the music video, we'll cut back to the review. So, expect a costume change in about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom! Yeah, you don't have to go watch that, if you don't want to. Actually, no, you don't have to watch that, period. That was an event. Yeah, so, right. Well, get back to the, chapter review, I guess. Yeah. Alright, here we go then. Where did we leave off with this craziness? Alright, Mayuri pops in just when they need him the most. He just kind of pops in the front door, like the big dome, and he's just like, hey, what's up, Doc? So they tell him the problem, like, oh man, well, you know, Mayuri, we need enough Ryatsu in order to open up this gateway, and Mayuri's just Uehara. You know, the one time Mayuri, like, over-trumped Uehara in terms of intelligence, he's just like, hey, guess what? I have this Ryatsu amplification machine. Why don't you just use that? Now, that I call bullshit. I call bullshit. I don't call bullshit on the fact that, you know, Mayuri could invent something like that, because of course he could. I'm presenting bullshit on the fact that Kubo presented this one problem, like, there's not enough Ryatsu to power the gateway. And then he solves the problem in the same chapter, only a couple pages later. And he only did that, you know why he did that? He did that so we couldn't have a whole chapter with just Aizen, and we did that so he could stall to the end of the chapter to have Aizen reveal himself. Okay, that's the only reason he did, like, oh man, we don't have enough Ryatsu. Oh, Mayuri's like, I have enough Ryatsu because there's this special machine. So that's the reason he did that, just so we could pan it out more, so we can have Aizen reveal himself at the end, okay? Because if Aizen came out of the shadows and actually started to have his discussion with Shunsui now, that would be too easy. But anyway, yeah, he uses the machine, and Uehara kind of just grins, and he's just like, oh, you're clever, you bastard. And Shuhei exclaims, it's working, we got the gateway to work, and we don't see them step through it, but it begins to materialize. So, last scene of the chapter, we cut back over to Shunsui. He just placed the key into the lock, he unlocked Aizen's Coochie, and he states that, you know, under normal circumstances, somebody that hasn't spoken for 2 years would not be able to speak so easily. But I think you'll be the exception to this rule, wouldn't it be? I don't know, man. Even if my mouth was bound, I would still be able to speak a little bit like, hey, what's going on there? Just kind of down under this thing, you know, unless his jaw was completely sealed or whatever. But Aizen from the distance in the shadows just states, I suppose I am. So he walks out, and this is the freaking thing, because he walks out. Shunsui's there like, wait a second, he's supposed to be bound to that pillar. I only locked his mouth. What the hell? So Aizen begins to walk out of the shadows, and he's still bound with the seals, but they begin to kind of wind off, and we get to see his face, and he's just like, what's wrong? Don't you have 2 more keys left to use? And we see not just his mouth, but also his nose, and pretty much his entire face, except for his left eye, is now completely uncovered. And, you know, we're sitting there just like, what the hell? What did you do, Aizen? You're freaking so Aizen. But, yeah, so that's the end of the chapter there, and oh, no, really? Real? I just did a freaking Kesha dance number, really? Okay, fine. What is it? Is this the last one? Please tell me this is the last one. Oh, no. In order to do that, you would literally have to have Aizen use his hypnosis Kanzen release, okay? I'll do the Kesha, I'll do the writing on my face, I'll even kiss that thing, but I'm not going to do that at all. Why is that link there? Please don't tell me I did that. Aizen, you motherfucker. Don't click that. Don't click this. You don't want this. Do you really want this? Okay, fine, whatever. I don't care. I guess that's a thing. All right, well, anyway, end of the chapter thoughts. All right, so my first thought is this. Aizen is not freed. Okay, because we got to see at the beginning of the chapter, we saw him all bound to those pillars. That is how Aizen is currently bound. I think Aizen, either through the Hogyoku or his Zanpakuto, maybe possibly merging with himself. I did a whole discussion video about this. I'll link it here once more, where I discuss this, that, you know, at the end of this fight with Ichigo, we assume that his Zanpakuto is beginning to break apart and leave him entirely, but we don't know that for certain. It could be merging with him the same as Zangetsu started to merge with Ichigo. It could be possible. So if that's the case, and Aizen's just be able to incorporate Kyokai Suigetsu without actually having the sword, then maybe just having his mouth unlocked is enough to, like, fuck with Shunsui and send him in sort of a hypnosis to make Aizen appear as if he's freed and walking around. Because if Aizen was free and walking around, you know, like that causes so many problems. Like, he would have just, you know, like, seen Shunsui as soon as he entered the place. You know, he wouldn't have talked at all. That's because he couldn't. You know, his mouth was bound. That didn't happen. He didn't start walking out of the shadows until Shunsui unlocked his mouth. So it's directly linked to that. Also the fact that, you know, Yuha was down there at one point and he messed with Yuha's sense of time. So Guy, he has some kind of power. He can manipulate his Zanpakuto ability to some degree, even without not having it with him down there. So that's my theory, that Kyokai Suigetsu merged with Aizen in some way, and he still has the Hogyoku, but maybe that doesn't have anything to do with the Hogyoku, and he can just manipulate his ability of Kanzen Samin just by using his speech, and that's how he's messing with Shunsui's mind. He's still all bound up. Maybe it's kind of like that scene in Dark World with Loki, where Loki pretends to be all calm and collected, but it turns out he's just using his illusion powers, and he's still in the cell, but he's all like disheveled in the corner. You know, that's how I view it, like this. Aizen's Loki. Actually, kind of apt analogy, really. I mean, apt comparison, really. But yeah, this was the chapter. I mean, not really much happened. Let's face it, we were all so excited just because of that last panel where he steps out of the shadows and we get to see him again. We get to see you smiling, trolling some bitch once again. You know, that was great and that was fun. But yeah, aside from that, we really got nothing else major from this chapter. I mean, I got humiliated completely, but aside from that, you know, nothing much. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this review, and I hope next week we'll have some more Aizen. I hope the entire chapter is just Aizen and Shunsui, you know, exchanging banter back and forth. I'd be completely happy with that if we don't cut to the Soul Palace or the thing with Uehara. I'd be completely happy if we just had a chapter with that. This was more of a buffer. Like, you know how at the end of chapter 576, when Kenpachi revealed Nozarashi's name, it wasn't until the very, very end of the next chapter that we actually got to see its release form. That's how Kubo does things. He does things like, he sets up a climax for one chapter, and that climax carries over to the climax of the next chapter. But I'm talking too much about climaxing now, so I gotta get going, cleaning myself up a little bit, maybe wash these whiskers off before I go to work. Or, you know, screw it, let's go to work like this. No problem, no big deal. Alright, see you guys. And I didn't, I want you guys to know, I didn't do that. I didn't plan the Kesha thing. I really didn't. Like, somebody sent me the comment, like, you know, do you dance to the weirdest song on your phone? And I legitimately looked through my phone and I'm like, please, is there anything else aside from the Kesha thing? But the Kesha song really is the weirdest thing I have on my phone. I was into that song in high school and I added it and I just never took it out. I haven't listened to it literally in like years. But I still know the lyrics to it because I listened to it a lot when I was listening to it. I did listen to it a lot, I will admit. We all have our little skeletons in our closet, I guess. Mine is a high school fascination with Kesha. Whatever, right? Okay then, well, I'm going to go clean all this off. Hope you guys had a good chapter review. I know I did. Thanks to everybody who posted the penalty games. That was really fun.